Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part 2 of our lesson Periodic Classification of Elements. So, without wasting much time, let's begin our chapter. So, in part 1, we discussed about what is periodic table, what are its, how are elements arranged, and now we are in the third step, which is known as how classification of elements. So, as we discussed in part 1, we discussed that until periods. So, let's recap again. So, periods are nothing but the horizontal, So, the periods in this are from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. As we discussed, there are 7 periods in the periodic table. 7 periods, that means that the horizontal lines are known as the periods of the periodic table. So, as we took an example of oxygen, that the number of shells in the electron configuration determines the number of the period of that element. So, now let's go to a further step. So, now in part 2, we are going to learn the next feature of the periodic table, which is nothing but the groups. So, as we know that the horizontal rows in the periodic table are known as periods. So, what about these vertical rows? So, basically, these are known as the groups of the periodic table. So, how there are 18 groups in the periodic table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So, these are the groups of the periodic table. So, now you can find something here. So, let's take example. Let's take one example. So, now let's go to the first group of the periodic table. This is the first group of the periodic table, which is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. So now, if you see this, one thing you will get it. The one is that all elements are in the same group. So of course, the group are the vertical rows of the periodic table and were the elements in the same. So in this table, you can see that these elements are in the same group. So this means that all the elements in the same group have the same chemical by physical properties also. So now now this is about the first group, and not only about the first group, it is about all the groups in the periodic table. The elements in the same group have same chemical by physical properties, same electron configuration, same valence electrons and etc. So this is the groups. Now let's go to the classification of elements in the periodic table. So now you can see here in the table. Now let's go to the classification of elements. So before we go to the classification of elements, you need to know about the four subshells S, P, D, F. So S subshell is only for subshells which is only for the K subshell. The L subshell contains 2, which is nothing but P. The third M shell contains D subshell and F in the last N cell. So like this. Now let's go to the classification of elements. So under classification of elements, so as we further move on to the classification of elements, let's see. Now as we name the groups 1 to 18, now S block elements are those which are of 1 and 2 groups. So like that, S block elements are of 1 and 2 groups. One is known as the alkali and the second is known as the alkaline earth metals. And first one is alkali metals. So this is for first. So now for the D block elements are these 13 to 17. These are the D block elements from groups 13 to 17, and the group 17 has a specific name known as halogens, means they are reactive gases which react and attain stability. So let's move on. So basically these elements are called by mistake, it's not D block elements, they are known as P block elements. As P block elements these are called P block elements as the last electron enters the P orbital of P orbital. And same way for the S block elements, the last electron enters the S subshell. So they are known as S block elements. So now let's move on. So now let's see this mark. So what are these marked regions? Of course, they are known as transition elements. Group 3 to 12 are known as transition elements. So they are known as D block elements. So D block elements, they are known because as the last electron enters the D orbital. So another name for these elements is nothing but transition elements. So let's move on. So now you can here see the marked region. So why are they marked? Yes, your guess. They are known as F block elements. Group F block elements. So F block elements are elements starting from atomic number 57 to 71, which are known as lanthanides, and from 89 to 103, which are known as actinides. So these are also known as inner transition elements. So they are basically known as F block elements as the last electron enters the F orbital of the subshell. So they are known as F block elements. So we have discussed about all the groups in the table. Now what is this marked region group number 18? Yes, they are known as the noble gases. So noble gases are of group number 18 which do not react with other elements. It is because noble gases are very stable. The other name for noble gases is nothing but inert gases. So this is the classification of the periodic table. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you did not see part 1, so see part 1 as it is given in the description. So thank you for watching.